empathy is one of the world's greatest and yet most undervalued gifts. If you identify as an empath, for most of your life, you probably never knew this to be a gift at all. To you, it was your greatest curse, not your greatest blessing, because in many ways, our society is very broken. It's based upon competition, pushing others down in order to get ahead. And although this is being transcended with so many people waking up in today's day and age, such as probably many of you listening who are not only empaths, but also experiencing a spiritual awakening at this time. But for most of you growing up, especially if this was 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago, you were probably taught to believe that your empathy was a setback, was a curse. So in this video, I want to dive into 5 dangers of being an empath. And what I mean by dangers aren't actually that these things are dangerous to you or harmful to you, but that these were probably perceived weaknesses, perceived struggles and difficulties that you've had growing up or that you may still be experiencing to this day as a result of your empathy. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I also just want to share with you that in addition to creating these podcasts, I am also a Subliminals creator. For those of you who don't know, Subliminals are affirmations that are targeted to the subconscious mind. These affirmations are subliminal, meaning they are below the threshold of our consciousness. This means that while the subconscious mind can't hear them, they make deep, lasting impressions upon the subconscious mind. And this is vitally important because the conscious mind is the gatekeeper to the subconscious. It's very difficult to get past the conscious mind, and yet very important because it's actually the subconscious mind that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. Personally, I tried using the law of attraction and specifically meditation techniques for years without seeing any results, and I truly believed that the law of attraction was broken for me or just didn't work for me until I started incorporating subliminals. When I started meditating with subliminals, my life began to shift very fast, and I began to manifest all of the dreams that I had so long held in my heart. So what you're looking at now is a screen recording. This is showing you a website of subliminals I have created. On this website, I have created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. Specifically for empaths, I would highly recommend my 7 chakra clearing subliminal. I personally use this exact meditation every single morning because I find that it deeply clears and grounds my energy, boosts my creativity, and just helps me to set very strong energetic boundaries and have a very balanced approach to my day. So to learn more about this specific subliminal, check the description box for more information. When you create a 7-day free trial account on my website, you can access this 7 chakra clearing subliminal, as well as the more than 100 subliminals I have available. Now let's dive back into discussing the 5 dangers of being an empath. The first is, and many of you will connect with this, especially as childhood empaths, what I call unawakened empaths. Empaths who are unaware that the root cause of the strange signs and symptoms and fatigue that they experience is actually because they have this gift of energetic sensitivity. When you were young, and maybe still to this day, it was probably an everyday struggle just to fit into our modern society, functioning in the ways that a quote-unquote normal person would, or a normal child would, was very challenging for you. Going to school, you may have, like me, wished that you were homeschooled because you had this awareness that being around other people was causing you so much stress and drain. You probably preferred to work alone, to work individually from a very young age, and maybe you even dreaded group projects or partner projects anytime you had to connect with another person for the purpose of reaching some particular goal or creating a project. And the reason that this probably bothered you so much is because you had difficulty setting energetic boundaries with these other people. In fact, that's just a natural facet of being an empath. Your energetic boundaries with others are fluid, which is a key component of your gift, but is also, if not handled properly, or if you are unaware of it, can be your greatest curse. So when you were working with these others, you probably found yourself finding it very difficult to assert yourself, to assert your opinions and ideas, especially if they contradicted the other person. But your difficulties with school and in your upbringing probably didn't stop there. If you come from a big family, you probably needed a lot of alone time. And this may have been very challenging if you had many people in your living space and it was a small space or a shared space. For example, if you shared a room with a sibling growing up, this was probably very challenging because you may have found it very difficult to get away. And this could have caused you a lot of frustration and even chronic fatigue from a very young age. You probably always just had this sense that you didn't fit in the way other people did. And this probably carried into adulthood as you began to select a career. You probably chose a career that best suited you because of this energetic sensitivity, whether you realize it or not. A career in which you were able to either work alone or to get a lot of alone time. Now, if you didn't choose this kind of career, or perhaps you weren't able to, or felt you weren't able to create this kind of a career, then you probably feel very, very drained just going to work every day. I remember for me personally, working in customer service was one of the most challenging things that I ever did as an empath. And others in my life couldn't understand it because they saw my job as very easy. But what they didn't understand is just how draining in every sense, physically, mentally, energetically, it was to even work just 3 or 4 hours in these environments that were very buzzed with energy from other people. The second danger of being an empath is that relationships, especially romantic relationships, can be very confusing and complicated. This really starts right in the beginning, initial attraction phases to romantic partners, because empaths are capable not only of picking up on the emotional energy of others, but also the physical energy from others. This means that if you are an empath and someone is physically, romantically attracted to you, and you don't yet have strong emotional boundaries, physical boundaries energetically, then you are actually capable of subconsciously picking up on this energy of attraction coming from them and mistaking it as your own. This can be very complicated because for empaths, it can be so difficult to sort out what someone else is feeling from what you are feeling. And this is true to an even greater extent when it comes to our intimate relationships, our close relationships, either those we are very close platonic friends with or those we are romantically involved with. Because within these kinds of intimate connections, the boundaries become even more fluid for empaths. So you may have found yourself in love and romance, really running from relationships. Maybe you came off as flaky or difficult to get to know, but this is probably because that is a coping mechanism for you. Putting on a mask, whether it's in a platonic setting or a romantic setting, may have become a kind of protective defense mechanism for you to prevent yourself, to kind of set up a sort of boundary with this person, to prevent yourself from becoming too overly involved and emotionally attached to them. Because even if you weren't aware of your empathic gifts, you probably had an unconscious awareness that whenever you get very close to someone, it becomes even more difficult to hold those energetic boundaries that were already very fluid to begin with. Because of this, you also may find that many of your relationships can feel shallow or unfulfilling, and then you have a very tight but small inner circle of people who you truly trust and enjoy spending time around. And this small inner circle most likely consists of the few people you feel truly understand you and see you and can give you the space and time you need to fully recharge your energy as an empath. The third danger of being an empath is being the one that other people feel they understand or rely on for emotional support. When you have this deep understanding that these people do not understand you at all, the thing about being an empath is, because of your energy, you carry a very healing energy. You have a natural ability to heal because of your energetic sensitivity, because you are so capable of feeling into the thoughts, feelings, and experiences of others. And as a result, other people, even complete strangers, will feel unusually comfortable around you and will let their guard down around you, and sometimes may even share the most intimate, personal details from their life with you without hardly knowing you at all. And because of this, other people tend to feel a closeness with you very quick. Whether this is in love and romance, when you're on the dating scene, people may attach themselves to you because they feel like they can share so much detail about themselves and their life that they must be very close with you. But even in a platonic setting, this can happen as well, where friends feel as though because they are opening up so much to you, that your relationship must be on a very close level. But from your perspective as the empath, you can clearly see that this person only feels so close to you because they feel so comfortable opening up to you, and you feel deeply misunderstood because you may feel as though this person doesn't truly understand you at all. You may not truly feel close to this person at all, but they feel very attached and very close to you. You may even find yourself feeling like a fraud within love and romance or within your platonic relationships because empaths have a chameleon-like tendency to blend in or to match the energy of people around them. This is particularly dangerous when you are trying to manifest your own dreams or goals or maintain your focus on a very specific outcome in your own life. You will find yourself very susceptible to being influenced by others because you have this very natural tendency to make others feel comfortable by matching their mood, matching their emotion, even matching their beliefs and ideas. And this causes you to be very likable to other people, but also causes you to feel very inauthentic within yourself, to feel as though you aren't truly expressing the core of who you are, that everyone is only seeing in you what they want you to be. The fourth danger of being an empath is a traditional life path will most likely be very intolerable to you. And this will become increasingly true the more that you hone in your energetic sensitivity and the more you become awakened to the truth of your empathic gifts. Part of this is because if you are an empath, you were given this gift of energetic sensitivity for a reason. And while you do have a healing power within your connections with others, you do have a profound ability to heal others just by your energetic presence around them. Usually empaths mistake this to be their only purpose or their only gift, but this isn't true. Usually, if you are an empath, you are also a light worker. And if you aren't familiar with the meaning of a light worker, you can check out my video on light workers and signs that you are a light worker. But empaths tend to be highly evolved spiritual beings, here not only to have this healing presence within a family, within a society, within a world more broadly, but also to fulfill some kind of very specific purpose or passion. And because of their deep awareness of this purpose, despite perhaps not knowing quite what it is, they will find themselves feeling low levels of anxiety or maybe high levels of anxiety when they are trying to force themselves into a more traditional career path that is not meant for them. The second reason that a traditional life path is intolerable to empaths very often is because when you are energetically sensitive, you aren't just sensitive to others, to the emotions and feelings of others. You are actually highly sensitive to your own intuition as well, including the intuition you have regarding your life path or purpose. So when you are destined for a certain passion or purpose or calling as an empath, you are going to have a heightened awareness of this purpose. And because of this, you are going to feel very strong negative intuition, very strong negative emotions, feelings, and resistance anytime you veer away from this true purpose. And finally, the fifth danger of being an empath is the physical and emotional symptoms that you will experience so frequently they become normalized to you. In fact, as an empath, you probably, even now, even being the highly awakened being that you are, even being someone who has probably experienced a spiritual awakening or is undergoing an awakening right now, even in this highly awakened state, because you've never lived in the body and the life experience of a non-empath, you probably don't even realize how much of what you experience is not normal for those who are not empaths. For example, the fatigue. As an empath, you've probably just accepted that anytime you are around people, even in a small group setting, if you are around people who are feeling emotions very intensely, but especially in crowds of these kinds of people, you will very quickly become very emotionally and physically drained. You have probably become so accustomed to this that you simply build your life around it. You probably simply know that if you are going to do something out, if you're going to go to a restaurant or go shopping, you probably structure your entire day around that event because you have an awareness that that is going to require a huge expenditure of energy. You're also probably very accustomed to feeling strange and seemingly unexplainable symptoms in your body. Because what many people don't understand about empaths is they don't just emotionally, intellectually feel and have an awareness, a profound awareness of what those around them are experiencing, but they also experience it through their body. They also have what is referred to as strong body intuition. This means that, especially from a very young age when you were probably not even aware what an empath was or why these things were happening to you, you probably had the experience of experiencing intense physical symptoms, and maybe your parents took you to a doctor and there was never any explanation, or maybe they simply wrote it off as anxiety, or just called you overly sensitive, or told you that you were taking everything too personally, not realizing that you couldn't help but be sensitive, but take things personally, so to speak, because you were feeling all of it, feeling all of the thoughts, feelings, opinions, experiences of others in your body and processing it through your own energy body and physical body, even as a child. So for me personally, this manifested as a lot of solar plexus pain, which for those of you who don't know, the solar plexus is in the stomach area. So for me, I experienced chronic stomach pain, stomach aches, and what became even stomach ulcers when I was in high school, simply as a result of just being around so many people, so much emotional energy, and not realizing how it was affecting me energetically, not having strong boundaries with these people. I also experienced this in middle school emotionally, as coming home and crying every single day, and I wasn't even particularly upset. It's just that I would have this huge release of emotional energy from being around so many different people and so much intense energy all day long. So be sure to let me know. I know that I've shared some of my own personal experiences as an empath, but one of my favorite parts about this community is connecting with all of you beautiful souls in the comments section. So if any of these signs resonated with you, or perhaps you have your own negative impact or so-called danger of being an empath that you've experienced in your own life, and be sure to share that experience with me in the comments. I also just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you who support my podcast, who listen to my thoughts here, and I want you to know that you are truly co-creating all of this information on this channel here with me. So if I resonated with you, please subscribe to this channel, join our community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Have a wonderful, magical, manifestational rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again in the next podcast.